Malcolm, so today is obviously a hard day in the NFL with roster moves being made. Um, just how tough is that knowing that you have many teammates who are being released today while you're all at the same hotel with your families evacuated due to Hurricane Ida?
Yeah, I mean, it's already a tough day. All right, you show up to the locker room and half the team is gone, literally. And to be now in a situation where, you've all evacuated from a city, you're in a hotel, people's families are here, and then it's still getting that. We still have to go through the business of football. That makes that, I don't think anybody, enjoys that. But, we also understand it's part of the business.
How do you show empathy in that situation though? Like, this is such a unprecedented and unique situation.
Yeah, I mean, the same way that you normally do is, if you get the opportunity to actually even see the guys, most times, they are out of the building before you really even get to interact. It's usually on the day off, you come back to the locker room and literally just have the team's gone, and you might shoot a text message or something like that. Now it's a little bit more intimate and in your face. But I think it goes both ways. Like, players understand that cuts are part of training camp, and it's something that was inevitable no matter where we were. But also for the teammates and even the coaches, just trying to handle it as delicate as possible, knowing that even after a tough week, this is some more bad news for not only the player but their families. But it's not the end of the road either for a lot of these guys. So hopefully they'll get the opportunity on a different team or later come back on this team. So you just, the best thing you can do is wish them well.
Luke Johnson.
Malcolm, maybe this isn't something you can talk about yet, and maybe it's something that's still in the works, but just knowing that you had this kind of history with kind of giving back to the community, have you guys started talking about putting together any sort of relief efforts from the team side of things yet?
Yeah, I think there were some conversations today about it. I know we saw that the Saints organization donated some funds, but I know players some of the leaders on the team have been talking about what we can do, what work is already being done that we can support, and how we can draw awareness to really help in with the hurricane relief efforts in Louisiana and New Orleans.
Amy Just.
Yeah. How is your family doing? Are they with you? Have you heard anything about your house?
Yeah, my place has been fine. I didn't have any damage, so I was very fortunate. My family got out and was spending time in Atlanta right now while I'm down here in Dallas. So still trying to figure out when we can get back to the city, what that looks like over the next few days. But obviously, kind of everybody's all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Luke Johnson.
Yeah, if you can at all focus on football right now, having seen a whole camp of them, what's kind of been your impression with Paulson and Debo, and has he kind of made big strides from day one to right now?
Yeah, I think what was apparent very early in camp was just his physical abilities. He can run, with just about anybody. He's got great recovery speed, natural instincts, and picked up kind of the press technique that Chris Richard is teaching pretty quickly. What you want to see is in the maturation and, understanding the playbook and the scheme of what we're trying to do. And I think that's come along, just as well. So he's had a good camp. I think everybody's real confident in him being out there. And, right now is just, he'll learn more things as we continue to play. But as far as the foundation of the technique and the playbook and understanding what you're doing, he's ready to go.
And I mean, you're a guy who I think a lot of people associate with, never leaving the field. I mean, can you imagine trying to get out there and play after having taken a year off of football? It's got to be tough.
Yeah, it doesn't, honestly, when you watch him play, you wouldn't know. I didn't know that he took a year off until I got asked the questions from the media in the beginning of the camp, because he doesn't look rusty at all, doesn't look uncomfortable. Most guys, when you see him coming back from injuries or they've been away from the game a while, you see the hesitation at first or the hesitancy, and it's not there. So it's really a non-factor.
Amy Just?
Yeah, as one of the leaders on the team, what has been your message to some of the younger guys or even some of the older guys who's never really been through this type of situation before?
It's not often. I've probably only been through it. I can't even remember if I've been through it, to be honest.
Y'all evacuated in 2012 to Cincinnati, but that was only for a few days. You and Cam are the only ones left from that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, and I don't even remember that time. So it's, it's a very unique situation, right? So the biggest thing is just, you want to make sure that you allow guys to take care of their families, because that's really the number one thing that's on everybody's minds. Are we out of harm's way? Where is my family, out of harm's way? And then once we have that established and under control, then everything else that's happening, in New Orleans with our homes and all of those things is really out of our control. And the only thing that we can control is what we do with our time here in practice, as we're still trying to be evaluated, as we're still trying to prepare for week 1. There are things that we still need to be able to get done. And so the message is take care of your affairs. And then once they're done, lock in on what you can control. And right now, that's just our preparation.
Nick Underhill?
Malcolm, you mentioned around this time last year that you felt like one of your responsibilities was to help Marshawn Lattimore get to kind of his peak. How do you feel like the camp he's had has gone, and just how do you feel like he's practicing? A lot of people have mentioned like he seems pretty locked in so far.
Yeah, I think he's locked in. I think, in the past, you probably seen him, or at least one of the things I noticed before I got here was that when he's got, those top receivers, he's the Marshawn Lattimore that we all love to see, the best corner in this game. And if his competition is not as high, then we've seen him, kind of take his foot off the gas. And I think this year, we haven't seen that. It's just been, locked in every single day, every single rep. He's competing no matter who it is in front of him, knowing that we're going to, especially this year without, having Jack Rabbit on the other side, he's going to be the guy that we expect to take whoever he's lined up against should be out of the game. And that's the expectation I know, myself, I put on him, the defense has put on him, and I think that's the expectation he set for himself. And so, yeah, hopefully, I think he's had a good camp, and hopefully that carries over into the season.
Jory Epstein?
Malcolm, Sean talked about how different it is to game plan to maximize Jameis's skills versus Taysom's. As a defense, how would you describe the difference in playing against them, and how do you expect Jameis to challenge defenses this season?
Well, I think, Jameis has a live arm, can stretch the field. We saw it in the last preseason game we played. All of a sudden, the back end of the defense is being tested, at any point in time. And he still got a little bit of mobility more than you probably think. Where Taysom, you got the all of a sudden it's a different playbook almost. We've seen them run the same playbook, but really it opens up a whole new set of options where you talk about quarterback runs, the zone read, all of the bootlegs and movement passes that fit Taysom more than they fit Jameis. So, you still get a little bit of that duality. It's a different playbook, but since we've seen them, we see them trying to execute really the same playbook as they're trying to be evaluated. But for the teams that we play moving forward, it's a whole different scheme when you have Taysom in there compared to Jameis.
For sure. And on a different note, I know you mentioned your family's in Atlanta, but how has that family dynamic been at the hotel, having so many kids around? And I think there was a touch football game going on among some of the kids at breakfast this morning. Did you see that? And what can you tell us about it?
No, I didn't see it, but it's definitely been a lot more noise and a little bit more lively in a team hotel than we're used to. But, in this unique situation, I think we're embracing it. We don't oftentimes get to do our football business and incorporate our families. So I think the guys are actually enjoying, being able to be around their families and then go to work, and have them here with them. And even to be able to, get to know each other's kids and significant others, I think is an opportunity we don't get too often. So it's not a bad thing.